Hello, welcome to another episode of the Weekly Feedback. I'm your host, Caveman PRDR. This is going to be week 12 and the season finale for season 19. Lightfall is right around the corner. The downtime maintenance for Lightfall will be this upcoming Monday, and the day after, Lightfall releases. So, today, really the last day for me to play. And we'll be looking forward to Lightfall's release. And speaking of Lightfall's release, we'll go into a Bungie help tweet. We are currently investigating an issue where the preload of Lightfall has been pushed out early in some regions. We recommend players pause this download until February 27th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to continue playing the live game. So, TLDR, there's a preload for Lightfall that gets released before people can actually play, and this is usually I think this has become more of a common practice for games that are kind of in high demand that are able to be downloaded early, but obviously the servers aren't active until the actual release. So apparently it's just if you do the pre-download early, it's not letting people go back into the live game, or there's an issue with that. So, yeah, note to y'all out there: don't do the preload, or don't do the pre-download for Lightfall until basically until Monday or Tuesday, whatever day that it's going to be down for the. I think it's going to be the 27th, so that'll be Monday. Recommend not doing the pre-download until Monday since the servers are going to be down anyway to adjust over to Lightfall. So, yeah, that was the first topic I wanted to go over. Second one was a developer blog on the 21st bringing challenge back to Destiny. If you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you might have seen someone's breakdown of the changes. Basically, there are some activities where the bases of where enemies are going to be harder to kill now. Well, kind of, sort of. At least they're increasing power levels. So for Nightfall specifically, Adept difficulty is being removed. That's the easiest one. Heroes going to be available at 1750, which is the soft cap. Legend and Master difficulties can be entered once you hit 1800, which is the power cap. So the activity levels for these are Hero, Legend, and Master. Hero is at 1770, Legend is at 1830, Master is at 1840. So basically you can go into a Hero difficulty Nightfall 20 levels under. You can go into a Legend difficulty Nightfall 30 levels under, and you can go into a Master difficulty Nightfall 40 levels under. We are implementing power level disadvantages to provide a better challenge curve. Hero 5 under, Legend 15 under, Master 20 under, and Grandmaster 25 under. That's if you manage to get to those access points that I mentioned earlier, 1750 and 1800, the enemies are going to feel that much stronger. So, yeah. Match game is being removed, but mismatched shields now take 50% less damage across the whole game. So, that's not just Nightfalls, apparently. Evidently, that's base game. Supposedly. We'll see if I'm right about that. But, anyway, they're changing how burns work. Burns are being changed to surges and threats. Surges increase your outgoing damage. Threats increase damage coming in from enemies. Both of these are a 25% modifier. I'm not going to go over every little detail there. High-level activities I'll also now have overcharged weapons. And overcharged weapons deals 25% more damage. So I'm assuming there's going to be a modifier that says If you're using X kind of weapon, like maybe hand cannon, maybe the hand cannons do 25% more damage. So yeah. I'm just making that as an example. I don't really know if that's for a fact exactly what that means by that. Overcharges and surges do not stack. So I'm assuming if you try to use an overcharge weapon that crisscrosses with a surge, or that mixes with a surge elemental type, it only takes the higher buff, I'm assuming. Combatants are harder to stagger, and their health has been increased across the board. Okay, cool. What is not changing? Equipment is still locked on Legend and Master, as well as GM. Matchmaking is still available on Hero. Closed for Legend, Master, GM. Modifiers affecting enemy types, like Fire Pit or Fire Team Coordination, Chaff Togetherness, or Chaff. I think it's Chaff. Champion availability remains the same. Grandmaster Nightfall revive limitations, wipe conditions, and schedule stay the same. Cool. Burns versus Surges, threat overcharge. Talk a little bit about the system there. High scores, striker back. They are changing a little bit of these strikes and how they're going. Vanguard Ops playlist specifically. PsyOps and Heist Battlegrounds are becoming part of the Vanguard Ops playlist. Interesting there. Playlist is now power disabled, like Gambit and Crucible. You don't have a damage advantage over enemies or them upon you, no matter the power level. Daily rotators and weekly cinches have been removed and replaced with random surge, random threat, and random modifier of best of collection, including subtle foes, lightning crystals, etc. Vanguard Ops scoring, just like Nightfalls, you earn points for killing enemies and other events, precision kills, picking up orbs, reviving teammates, multiplier. Based on specific strike, the higher your score, the larger your Vanguard rank multiplier will be. Largest multiplier available is 7 times for getting over 250k. Applies to all Vanguard modes, including Nightfalls. This is really, really good for the new legacy focusing engram rewards for Vanguard to get some of those Nightfall exclusive weapons that people missed out on before. Recently before. Unfortunately, Palindrome will not be in that rotation for now. But some other weapons notable, like Hothead, Horror's Least, DFA, some other weapons will be in there. Silicon Neuroma. I think these are probably 4 of the ones that you should consider going after. Vanguard challenges. Complete Vanguard activities with Surging subclass. Complete 5 activities. You get increased progress for harder difficulties. This is just for Vanguard challenges in general. Nightfalls are dark and full of terrors. So they're talking a little bit more about the Nightfalls down here specifically. Maximum effectiveness targeting. So you can get up to 1765 on hero difficulty for Nightfalls, and that's the highest you're going to be effective. If you go above that, it's just going to be dropped back down to that level, basically. So the Nightfall Weekly Challenge now requires you to attain 200,000 points across multiple Nightfall runs, rather than 100 points in a single run. So I'm assuming that's going to be for the Pinnacle. In my opinion, that's a good change. Generally, you could just do like 2 hero versions and be done with it. But on this one, you just automatically finish it in GM. And then if you get a certain hero that has a certain amount of capacity for the right multipliers, say like maybe Glassway, you kill enough enemies, you can probably get 100k on Glassway pretty easily at any point in the season, I would imagine. Generally, this stuff seems easier to get at the beginning of the season, but that's a conversation for another time. Master Raids and Dungeons get the Power Delta treatment. So there's going to be overcharged. There's going to be one overcharged weapon, 2 surges, no threat modifiers. Combatants don't have increased health or increased stagger resistance. Want to bring in line with other master experiences, but I need to build craft toward surges or overcharges. No activity left behind. They kind of talk about lost sectors and weekly campaign here not being as rewarding as the community would like. They say they agree, along with Dares of Eternity and Wellspring. So they talk a little bit about lost sectors getting the same treatment. 2 overcharged, 1 overcharged weapon, 2 surges, threats depending on the lost sector. And then they talk a little bit more about the difficulty. Same for Nightmare, Empire Hunts, and Campaign Weekly missions. Similar difficulty add-ons there. Dares of Eternity, they're getting a little bit more of the modifiers added onto it. Seasonal Battleground playlists, adding a little bit more of the modifiers to it as well. Seasonal Battleground playlists, keeping that hero difficulty thing as well. They talk about rewards here. A funny thing happens when you work 6 months ahead and also need to write blog posts. Sometimes you miss some of the elements that help with players understanding rewards. Is one of these. We did a balance pass on Nightfall and Lost Sector rewards, starting with Nightfall. New material reward structure should look like this. Old, small chance of ending up with 2 enhancement prisms for Nightfall hero. 1 enhancement core and small chance of up to 2. New, 1 enhancement prism and a medium chance of 1 more. 2 enhancement cores and a medium chance of 1 more. So they're supposedly increasing the potential material awards available. So I really would have liked to have seen, and they go over the different bases for. They go over the different bases for what you can get on Hero, what you can get on Legend, Master, and GM. So, in my opinion, these are kind of nice, kind of nice changes, but in the lower difficulty Nightfalls, the normal versions of these Nightfall weapons dropping, their chances are pretty low, especially on hero difficulty and matchmaking difficulty. I think they need to up the drop rates for Nightfall weapons, in my opinion. I cannot tell y'all how many Nightfalls I've done for Palindrome. I literally could not tell y'all. I've easily done somewhere between probably 150 to 300, possibly more Nightfall runs just to get normie Palindrome drops. I literally didn't even get an Adept Palindrome until the final weekend it was available. I think. Pretty sure that's how it was. So, it would have been nice to have seen some increases in Nightfall weapon chance, but we are where we are, I guess. Lost Sector Legend, increasing the materials you can get from there. That's kind of all they talk about in this article. So I will post a link to this down below for y'all to take a good look at. And now we'll move on to the final thing of the week that I wanted to note, which is the This Week at Bungie. Sharing a lot of information with y'all, mostly because we're as hyped as everyone else, but also Lightfall is launching in less than 5 days. Leaves us with about less than 118 hours by the time it's live. It's enough time to tell y'all about a couple things, or several. So, some of the things they've noted recently, with a new trailer that released today, they actually, during the PlayStation State of Play broadcast, they released a new trailer for Lightfall, rather. The hard way. This section of the TWAB talks about the bringing challenges back to Destiny and the changes for PvE, rank up Guardian. This is talking about them upping Guardian ranks this upcoming week, this week, really today the last day, but them increasing the rankings available for this week. Crucible beckons. They talk a little about some PvP changes for competitive division coming in. No, they do not mention adding anything new as far as adding cosmetics or anything for rank rewards or anything like that. They do talk about changing placements where you can be the highest you can be placed is Plat Division, mode and map weighting. They are changing Rift and Showdown to make them appear less and make Survival appear more. They are also adjusting the individual map weightings for Showdown to eliminate maps with the modes that do not play very well on. Overall, they have an increase in the weight of Javelin 4, Endless Veil, and Ultra Flame in Comp Division and removed Disjunction and Cathedral Dusk from the rotation entirely. Good changes in my opinion. Especially if there's going to be a little bit less focus on Rift. Start of Season 20, you can get a glorious title by reaching Adept Division as well as a number of other Crucible Triumphs. In Season 20, they are introducing the Not Swap modifier to Trials of Osiris and Competitive Division. So basically, if you do exotic swapping for supers, you are going to have a bad time because it's going to remove all of your energy. So, say you do you have full super energy and then you use, I believe it's Raiju's Harness for Arc Strider, it's going to take away all of your ability energy. So in my opinion, this is a good change for Trials of Osiris and Comp Division. We'll see how it goes. I think a lot of people are going to be pleased with that. Embrace Passive Artifact. They talk a little bit how the artifact is going to work next season and passively instead of just attaching it to armor. And then to accommodate changes, Artifice Armor now has a unique mod slot that grants 3 additional points to a character stat of your choice. This change is retroactive to all Artifice Armor. So, yeah, your old Artifice Armor, it's still going to be good. And then down below that, they actually talk about what mods are going to be available on the seasonal artifacts. So I'll quickly go over the names of these. Column 1, Anti-Barrier Sidearm, Anti-Barrier Pulse, Overload Bow, Unstoppable Scout, Automatic Overload, which is SMGs and auto rifles, stunning overloads. And column 2, authorized mods Solar, authorized mods Strand, authorized mods Void, authorized mods Nades, multi-siphon mods. Column 3, Shatter Orbs, Defiant Armory, Untangler, Solar Surge, Volatile Flow. Column 4, Bricks from Beyond, Flare Up, Origin Hones, Ally to Unraveling, Counterweave. Column 5, Stranded Reach, Rain of Firebolts, Void Weapons Channeling, Medieval Champion, and Prismatic Transfer. New ways to defeat champions. They talk about the Build Crafting Evolved article here. Exotic, they go over the ways that you can counter the champions, which includes exotic with anti-champion intrinsic perks, weapons that have anti-champion artifact. You can use following subclass verbs and status effects, which include which include the lines for each of the champions. Barrier, and then they list Radiant, Volatile rounds, and Unraveling rounds. Overload, including Jolt, Suppression, and Slow. Unstoppable, including Ignite, Blind, Shatter, and Suspend. The verbs, work no matter how they are triggered. And they go over some examples here. Becoming Legend, so they talk about doing the campaign, or they talk about doing the campaign on Legendary. In the Lightfall campaign, we reduced the health scale on combatants to better balance the solo and fire team play when compared to last year's Legendary campaign. Enemies will still have more health overall and larger fire teams, and the Cabal will have generally higher based health than combatant factions, but this will help bring solo and fire team difficulty closer together. Additionally, the damage required to stagger combatants is reduced in the Lightfall campaign. So, TLDR, I'm thinking Legend difficulty is not going to be technically as hard as it was in Witch Queen, so cool, I guess. Cool change, I guess, maybe. I don't know. If it's anything similar to how it worked for the Operation Seraph Shield mission, the enemy's health bars and the boss's health bars on that mission scaled hard when you played with other people. I did it solo by myself every week, solo first by myself. And then there were some weeks where I helped other people do it, and we had 2-man, 3-man. It got a little bit harder. I didn't think it scaled quite right, so I think they're noticing how it played through that and then applying that to taking that into consideration for the Legend campaign for Lightfall. So cool. Free Throne World tours. They talk about how the standard Witch Queen edition is available for free, and it actually is available until midnight on PlayStation, and then, it is available until midnight or 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Xbox, it is available. And then until then, it is available until then. After that, it's no longer free. On PlayStation, Steam, Microsoft Store, and Epic Games Store, it is available for free until 9 a.m. tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time. Prime Gaming Rewards, Player Support Report, and then a reminder of the Lightfall 24-hour downtime. So, that's really all I wanted to cover today. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you excited for Lightfall coming up? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you and have a good week.